Hi everybody, the Serial Stamper here from the serialstamper.com with a demonstration on how I have made these super cute and really fun star boxes that are featured in our holiday catalog. And that would be this catalog here. It runs through January 5th of 2015. And if you are a current customer, these should be out in the mail to you. If you haven't received them in another week or so, just go ahead and leave me an email and I will make sure that you get one. And these are the Christmas boxes that are featured on page 25. They are really very pretty. And I will just flip through a little bit and show you some of the other awesome products we have and some of the other fabulous project ideas that are in this catalog. So if you don't have a copy of this catalog, there will be a link in the description bar below this video that you can link to download PDFs of both the annual catalog and also the holiday catalog. And I am going to grab the annual catalog because I want to show you an idea that is in it. And it is on page 135, and it is this idea right here. They have made a card using the star framelits. So I took that idea and used it on this decorative box, and it just gave it even more depth and dimension, and I thought that was really cool. So Stampin' Up! Has released a tutorial on how to make these decorative boxes. And that is boxes that do not have lids, and you could use them for a variety of decorating needs. But anyway, they gave you the dimensions for the second to largest box. What I'm going to be demonstrating today is how to make the largest box and to make one with a lid. And so let's get started. So if you happen to watch the Stampin' Up! Tutorial, they explained that in order to make the star box, you need to know how many sides you have. And so a star has 5 points, and that gives it 10 sides. And you need to measure the distance of one of the sides, so that way you will know how to or where to make your score lines for the panels that you need. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be making the largest framelit, so I have grabbed it and I'm going to turn it over to the back side. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Excuse me. So on the back side there is a cutting blade on the inner portion of the star, and that's what I'm going to be measuring. Now I've tried to make this box using 2 different measurements, and I'm going to tell you the one that works the best. So let me get this even here. So this is 1 1/4 inches. I have tried to make it, it's actually between 1 1/4 and 1 3/16. And I've tried that, but the 1 1/4 works best. And the next thing you will need is to know how deep you want your box. I have made mine 2 1/4 inches, so the whole depth of the box is 2 1/4, and the lid is 1 inch. So that's the measurements I'm going to be giving you. And also, I'm going to say that most often when you cut any object the same size, that you will have difficulty putting the tops and bottoms together because they're the exact same size. But I have found that we can do that using the star framelits, and I guess it's because of the flexibility of the box, along with the shape just gives it some flexibility, and it closes quite nicely together. They fit perfect. So, having said all that, let me just say, besides the Star Framelits, of course, I have a wet rag and a Q-tip, along with my supplies here to keep my hands from getting super gluey from the adhesive I'm going to use, and that is going to be the Tombow Multi-Purpose. That is my glue of choice for this project. You could use the double-sided tape, which they did use on the Stampin' Up video, or the Fast Fuse. All three of these are high-tech adhesives and will hold the box together, and it will be durable. But I like the Tombow because it gives me extra wiggle room. So you will see why I use that in a few minutes here. So I'm going to back up a little bit. Okay, so we're going to need 5 panels of cardstock. I have chosen Mossy Meadow cardstock from our new In Color collections. It is a deep, rich green, and I really like this color. I usually like vibrant, bright colors, but I have been getting into these earthy tones lately. I'm really enjoying them. Okay, so the sizes of the panels you're going to need. The first one is 5 inches by 11.5. The second set will be 2 5/8 by 1.5. Oh, I'm sorry, not 1.5, 11.5. And you will need 2 of those, so 2 5/8 times 11.5. And then you will need 2 panels that are 2 5/8 by 11.5. All right, so the biggest panel, the largest of them, will be used to cut out the top and the bottom, because all boxes need tops and bottoms, right? So the top and the bottom, you will have a small section that you could use to cut out for extra embellishments if you choose. And all of the rest of the pieces are going to be used for the side panels for the top and bottom. So all of the panels will be scored the exact same way. I'm going to zoom here a little bit. I'm only going to score one because I am sure you don't want to sit here and watch me score cardstock. Alright, so the measurements we need are 1 3/4, 3 1/2, 5 1/4, 7, 8 3/4, that would be this one here, and 10 1/2. Anyway, so 10 1/2 is our last mark, and we're going to have a 1/2 inch panel remaining on each piece. And we scored those measurements along the 11-inch side. And if I'm not mistaken, I said 11 1/2 for all of the panels, but hey, they're 11 inches. Alright, so we will turn the cardstock a long ways and score at 3/8 of an inch. 1, 2, 3, and make a score going down. Alright, so 1/2 inch on each of the panels is what was remaining, and we're going to go ahead and cut each one of those off right now. So you will notice that I am going to do a few things differently in this demonstration, because I think it's a shortcut or two, and just makes the process a little bit shorter, even though it doesn't really take terribly long. Once you've made a few of the boxes, you get into the groove of doing it, and they go by fairly quickly. All right, so here is my wet rag. So we're going to take two of the same panels. It doesn't matter which one. The top and the bottom is going to be made the exact same way. I'm only going to put one of them together for you on the video because you don't want to watch me do the same process over again. All right, so the next important step is to we're going to need tabs on either end of one of these panels because we need to put two of these strips together. And the way to do that is with the tabs. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom back in and combine some steps here. So these 3/8 inch tab pieces here are what we need to cut off of both sides of one of the panels. And because this piece we're going to angle a little bit, just so that when we put these two pieces together, there's not overlapping of the tab on this piece. So what we're going to do is come just above this score line here and angle it down to the point here. And then turn it sideways and make an angled notch right there. And then just go ahead and slightly angle this end as well. I might have did that a little bit too much, but that's okay. And then turn it around and do the exact same thing. Come just above the score line, and it doesn't need to be much. Let's see if I can get it here. And angle down to the score line here, and then come in and make an angled notch right there. And then angle this tab this side as well. Okay, well that's probably good enough. All right, then you want to make sure all of your score lines are going in the same direction and they're all scored on the same side, that you don't get one side going one way and the other. Okay, and like I said, I am going to be using Tombow adhesive. And the reason why I like Tombow for this project is, like I said, it's wet, so of course it's not going to adhere immediately like the, let me get a scrap piece of paper here. Oh my. Like the double-sided tape does. You know, once you put the double-sided tape on here and you stick these pieces together, well, they're just kind of stuck. And if you didn't get them right where you would like them, you know, let me just say that you should glue the side that you're going to be adhering to the other panels, so you don't put glue everywhere that's not needed. And you don't need much. So a generous amount, but not too much. And then line these up like so on the inside of the score line. So on the inside of this score line and the inside of this score line. And you see they fit quite nicely. All right, and this glue does not take a long time for you to be able to work with it. It does take a few minutes for it to dry, but you could still, after a couple of seconds, it actually forms a bond and you can go ahead and work around it. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold all of my score lines going in the same direction on the whole panel. So just go ahead and give them all a good fold. And the next thing, once I get to the end, I'll just go ahead and let it flip over to the back side, and here's another little shortcut that I do. We're going to cut notches on each one of these panels here. And the way I like to do it is to have them, two of them folded together, and go from the score line down to the bottom edge. And then let that go and fold in the next panel and cut an angled section from the score line out. And I'm going to do that down the entire panel. And I'll speed up a little bit here maybe. Now this is where I glued the two together, and it already has a notch on one side. So we'll just nip that one off. Oop, I'm going backwards here. So on the Stampin' Up tutorial, again, they made their notches this way. They cut in on both sides of the panel, and the way that I am showing you just makes it faster because you only make one cut between the panels. Alright, let me back out a little bit. Move this out of the way. And what we can do now is go ahead and, you know what, before we flip those together, there's going to be one end, the very end piece that we did not notch, so we're going to go ahead and make a notch from the outer edge up to the score line. And then we can go ahead and flip these two pieces together. We're going to need glue on the outside of this panel here, and we can glue these two pieces together. So the most important thing about working with a Tombow is you don't have to use too much, and also have a wet warm rag on sitting next to you, so that way if you do get some glue onto your fingers, you can go ahead and wipe it off immediately, because once this stuff dries on you, it's like super glue and it is very hard to get off. Alright, so the back side of the panel, we're going to put these two together, and we have some time to place it just right. And there's a little bit excess glue, so I'm going to wipe it off. Also, having a dry towel nearby is quite helpful. Alright, so now that we have our ring made, we are going to go ahead and fold in each one of these panels here along the score line that we have there to make that has formed our tabs. Okay. Now we have this lovely ring here, and now what I do is just grab two of the panels and pinch them together, then fold one down and put two more together, then fold this one back, pinch it together, and do the same. Then when we get to the shortest piece, we can let those go, and then come over here and grab two of the panels back together. Okay, so once we let that go, we can kind of see our star shape. And we can just kind of form it here. This is our top. So I have embossed my top using the Argyle embossing folder. And we're going to glue that onto the top. And let me just mention that the largest of the star framelits do, let me see, Argyle folder. Hold on one second. They do stick out of the folders just a tad, but not to worry, it will emboss the majority of the star, and you won't even be able to tell that the points are barely sticking out. Okay, so what I do is grab 2 of these points, and this is the main reason why I use the Tombow for this portion here, because you're able to fit your box pieces. I got a goober here, let's get that off. Your box pieces to conform to the shape almost perfectly. Whereas with the double-sided tape, like I said, if you don't have those edges lined up perfectly and those things stick together, well, if they're not just right, it's not quite as pleasing to the eye. So I just prefer to do it this way. Alright, so put it on both sides of the tab and make sure you get all the way to the end, because you want the tiny point of your star to stick. Alright, and then you will just manipulate this into place. And I give it just a second to stick, and then I flip it over, and you will be able to grab the tab from the inside. And let me see if I can keep my head out of view here. And also mention to make sure once you've used your Tombow, set it off to the side, so that way you don't accidentally hit that glue with the side of your star there. Okay, so move that out of the way. And then you can just push these tabs and pinch the point of the star to mold to your star shape. Just perfect. And slide this back down a little bit here. And like I said, you see it doesn't take long for it to actually form a bond. And of course it looks like it's taking longer because I'm trying to do this as a demonstration for you guys. Okay, so wipe my fingers just to make sure I don't have glue on them. Move this out of the way. Alright, and then all you have to do is just hold your finger down on here. Hold your other point up and just make your way around the box lid, or the bottom, whichever one you're working on. And you're just going to continue doing the same process all around the box. You don't have to worry about the excess glue on the inside, because I'm going to show you that we can make a liner for the inside of the box using the same star shape and some filter paper. Stampin' Up! Does sell filter paper as well, and I will give you the page number and the item number on my blog, or at the bottom of this video in the description bar. Alright, so let me just use my snips to move it out of the way. Okay, voila, you have your box top and it matches perfectly. Alright, I'm not going to go through the whole of doing the bottom, because you would do it the exact same way. So I'm going to still this bottom, and show you that these filters were cut with the largest of the Star Framelits, and they fit perfectly inside of the box, and so you could glue that down however you would want. But also another cool thing that you could do is use our re-inkers with a little bit of water or alcohol and spray these and color them whatever color you want to coordinate with the color that you're using for your boxes. And I just cut several of them and made little tissues that actually fit the inside of the box. So it makes your box finished, tidy, and professional looking. Okay, so you might ask, what sort of things can I fit inside of this box? Well, actually quite a lot of things. Number one, jewelry is always a great thing to fit inside of a small box. I have a large bracelet here and it fits in there quite easily. We'd just add some more tissue and it would be perfect. Gift cards. Everybody likes gift cards, and those fit in there as well. Of course, I would put actually a nice jacket or on that before I would put it in there. I have some ornaments that I have made with the Star Framelits as well, and I will be doing a video on that soon. And those fit in there perfectly. They look pretty too. Okay, and I will show you that the lid fits on here perfectly, even with that size ornament in here. Perfect and snug. You could also put treats in here if you wanted. So I hope you have learned something new and enjoyed this video. I know it has been long and heavily edited, and I apologize for that. I'm still new, so hopefully you were able to endure it. And head on over to my blog and I will have additional information and links of all the products that I used. And I hope to see you next time. Alright, see you later. Bye.